And I had a radical heart shift from that moment. I got in my word, under my word. I just completely changed as a person. And I realized that God loves me, that God has a purpose and plan for my life, that God chose me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. So he would call me out my name. It wouldn't bother me because I allowed God's voice to be louder than his. And when I was going through transition of him not coming home on the weekends, not being there, telling me, I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you. Right. I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this. But once I knew who I was, I realized, oh,
ironing your clothes to go meet the side chick? Never. I will dry up before this is struggle love. This is that struggle love, baby, okay? I got to go through all these storms and trials and disrespect and tribulation and abuse and trauma. May this type of love never find me. Never, never.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So on our today's episode, I just came across this video that has many people have been talking about and stitching of this pastor's wife by the name Kelly Steele, who said and who is facing a huge backlash, especially from women, because she came forward and said that the grace from God would allow her to iron her husband's clothes for his side chick. And the crazy part is that people have been saying that you are taking these clips out of context. You didn't watch the whole video. Like, I don't need to watch the whole video for me to be convinced that whatever she's doing or saying is right. And women are like, there is no way. Like, you're married to your husband, you're okay for you to prepare your husband to go and meet your side chick. Leave alone that this is the same husband that has been telling her, I don't love you, I'll never love you, but she stuck there. She just stood by his side until he learned to love her. I mean, me and this lady, I'm sure that we ain't serving the same Lord, because my God hates adultery, and this is what the husband is doing, and the wife is supporting this. I mean, this is blasphemy, guys. Anyway, I want us to watch these videos together, guys. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credit belongs to the original creators of these videos that you'll be seeing on your screens. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracey D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Give this video a like and let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. So let's just dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
I know she wouldn't be considered as someone experienced in a religious psychosis, but most definitely one can put her under the category of misinterpreting religious guidance. Because even the Bible talks about leaving your spouse in the face of infidelity. But here she is, ironing his clothes to go see his mistress, telling him that he one day will love her when he says he doesn't. This is crazy. And no, it's not clickbait. And no, she's not doing it just for the interview and for the views. Women like this exist within Christianity. I've even heard messages being preached from the pulpit with the very sentiment of be a doormat for your husband, encourage him, or at the very least enable him, because you cannot let the other woman take your man. The entire aim is to keep this man around, irrespective of whether or not he treats you like complete shit. Which God of love would ever want his children to endure that mess?
Just so we're clear, that man emotionally and mentally abused that lady until she had a psychotic break. That's what happened. It wasn't God. She doesn't know that because she's still 1000% in that psychotic break. But yeah, that's That's what that is.
It's not too many things that I can't get behind. Like, I can get behind and have been behind lots of foolishness, all type of fuckery that like most people would be like, bitch, that's dumb. This ain't it. And what's crazy is what she is describing is like manifestation, right? Like, I actually tell my oldest son, like, the voice in your head needs to be louder than any other voice in the world. And like, you can speak things into existence. Yes, life and death does lie, or the power of life and death does lie in the tongue, right? However this shit go. Y'all know I ain't no Bible thumper. Imagine manifesting a motherfucker who treats you like shit. Like, I mean, it works. Manifestation is real, but like, why not just manifest a whole new person?
I'd rather. Let me say it again, church. I'd fucking rather marinate my bare coochie with vinegar and salt and then proceed to get ass naked and drag my bare coochie lips on Route 66 on the hottest summer day. Do you hear me, church? I'd rather. Church, I'd rather massage my titties with a meat tenderizer. I'd rather. Let me say it again. I would rather dry my titties with a panini griller. You could have not waterboarded this information out of me. You couldn't have. You couldn't have.
Night.
I cannot describe the levels of torture that I would have to endure to admit that shit out loud. That she's sitting next to him says that she thought it was okay. I said next time I got on this here TikTok, I was going to do my hair and put on clothes. My mouth was just, as I watched it. And it's really sad. Honestly, if you go and watch the whole thing, where she talks, and she just said, oh God, y'all be putting, y'all, God don't want you to be in an abusive relationship. God said infidelity, and somewhere in the Bible I know it say infidelity is a reason to leave and get a divorce. It's one of them reasons. Okay? God don't want you to go through hell. The what? Oh Lord. Deliver us from evil.
If you love that for you, then girl, we love that for you. But no.
I'm used to 125 too. Yeah. She 5'6", 175, and she was the wrong color.
So what made you keep coming back to her? She's not your preference.
She lived down the street.
So you saying convenience?
Very much.
I would always feed you.
She would feed me.
I said, women, you gotta feed them.
And she would give me money.
This is why I warn women to never give a man a chance when he acts as if you're not his preference. When he goes out of his way to say, I don't usually like dark-skinned women. I don't usually like women with tattoos. I don't usually like plus-size women. I don't usually like women who have children. When he goes out of his way to make you feel like you're not his usual type, most of the time he'll never let you forget it. They will always use that to humiliate and to embarrass you. But this is the literal representation of what it looks like when a woman plays her own game of Survivor. outplay, outlast, outwit. Now you telling me you even outspent? You was giving the man money? This man is happier than a pig in slop, talking about all the hoops he made her jump through to show herself to be worthy. And truthfully, he probably still doesn't think she is. A man can smell desperation in a woman from a mile away. He doesn't keep coming back because he loves you and he misses you. He keeps coming back because you're the only one that would let him. You have successfully beat out the competition, but what did you really win? Because he's no prize. That man isn't testifying, he's bragging. And they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you and to your face. That man wouldn't put up with a tenth of what he put you through because he knows his worth.
And I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the.
Hey TikTok, this is your girl Dominic. So I had to speak on this video because I know it went viral at this point. So it's basically a first lady basically saying how she knew that she was wonderfully made in the image, in God's image and likeness. Yes, we all are. I absolutely agree. And she also stated that her husband used to be verbally abusive, and he used to step out. And she knew he would step out on the weekends. So to prepare him, she used to iron his clothes so he could step out with the side chick. And she said this verbatim out her mouth. Let me just say this. God wouldn't tell me that. He just wouldn't tell me that. God wouldn't tell me to iron my husband's clothes so he could go and be with his side chick. God wouldn't tell me that. So now I'm starting to question, is it God or is it you trying to keep a man that's not worth keeping? Let's talk about it. If I'm in a relationship that is physically, emotionally, or verbally abusive, guess what? I'm leaving. Because even though we are married and it says to death do you part, let's talk about other things in the Bible. The Bible says, honor thy wife. Honor. Being abusive is not honoring. Being a cheater is not honoring. Being anything that's not Christ-like, that's harmful, is not honoring. Would a husband make mistakes? Absolutely. Absolutely. They all do. And I'm not saying cheating is a ultimate divorce. But if he's constantly cheating and he's been cheating on you for years on years on years on years, you truly think the Bible would tell you, God is telling you to stay? Sometimes we so happy to say we have a husband, we deal with anything. I mean anything. There's no way she's sitting up there and blaming that on God. That is something she had to deal with within herself, because I'm sure God wouldn't tell you to stay with a man that verbally is abusive, that's going out on the weekends to his side chick, and you're supposed to stay there and pray? No. There are clauses that you can break your marriage, especially if it's harmful to you. If you're in a relationship and it's ultimately damaging you as a human being, outside of the wife, as a human being, if it is breaking you down to the point that you don't realize who you are or you don't understand the woman that you are, I think that's your time to leave. Stop staying with somebody just because to say you're married. You know how many people on here are married and not happy? And I get it. Marriage is up and down. Sometimes you're going to be up, sometimes you're going to be down. But when it comes to verbal, physical, or emotional abuse constantly, and there's no change, that is when you draw the line. So yeah, let's not make it seem like the Bible would tell you to stay in situations that's unhealthy for you, because the Bible wouldn't tell you that. And sometimes we want to get married so bad, we think God sent us the man. No, that's not the man that God sent you, because honestly, when you do the work and you truly understand who you are in God, if the man truly loves you, he will transform and be what you desire him to be, because he understands that you are following Christ and he will follow you. So please, women, please don't let the Bible condemn you from leaving, especially if it's in a dangerous situation. We have to rightly divide the word of God, not do it according to what we stand for, but rightly divide it. Right? And in this case, God bless her, but God wouldn't tell me to iron my man's clothes so he could go be with a side chick. God wouldn't tell me that. God wouldn't tell me that. He just wouldn't tell me that, because I understand who I am as a woman, but also as a wife. I understand who I am. You cannot treat me any way. God said, honor thy wife. Treat her well. And the Bible also say, honor thy husband. It goes both ways. So if he's out there doing all these things and you just sitting back taking it, Where's the honor? Where's the love? The Bible said, love thy wife as I love the church. Where is that? Where is that in your husband? Where is that? If he's not doing that, then he's not following the commandments of God. And that's what I have to say on that. But you tell me what you think. Do you think she's right? Do you think she's wrong? You tell me. It's your girl Dominique. I just had to talk about this because I think it's insane that she really think that's what God was telling her. I just don't believe that. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. It's your girl Dominique. Love you guys. I'll be looking for the comments. So see you guys later.
I beg, may this kind of love never locate me. Because tell me why you're just gonna sit there and be telling your man that is always repeatedly telling you that they don't love you and they don't think that they will ever love you, and you're just gonna sit there and say you're just gonna wait because God is speaking to you. First of all, I know out of the 10 commandments, the 7th commandment states that you shall not commit adultery, and you're supporting your husband doing that. You're okay with you getting your husband ready to go out there and cheat on you. I mean, maybe I'm not getting these things right because, people are like, on the comment section on the TikTok, some people are like, you didn't watch the whole interview for you to, like, I don't need to watch, or you don't need to watch the whole interview for you to get the point. This man is simply trying to take advantage of this woman. And this is why women, I always remind my girlfriends, like, love yourself before loving someone else. You cannot be out there loving someone when you don't love yourself enough. You should always put yourself first. Not your kids, not your husband, not your mom, not your siblings, but you. You should always be your first responsibility. You should be responsible for how you feel. You should be responsible for the love that you give to yourself. You should be responsible for nurturing yourself. You don't have to wait for somebody to come from nowhere. You don't have to wait for any man to make you feel like you're complete. You don't have to wait for your parents, your siblings to make you feel like you're complete. Because honestly, going into a relationship when you don't love yourself enough, you end up being depressed, you end up getting lost because there is something that you're missing, and you always expect that this thing I'm going to get it from this man, or this thing I'm going to get it from this woman. And this goes both ways, to both women and men. Before getting in a relationship, before getting in a marriage, ask yourself, do I love myself enough to be able to walk out of this marriage, out of this relationship, when respect is not served, when the love that I give is not reciprocated? Because there is no way that you're gonna be sacrificing yourself out there for a man or for a woman just for them to be out there cheating with another person, them taking advantage of you because you love them. I mean, whatever this lady is going through is some kind of, I don't understand, guys, because there is no way, especially at her age, that she's gonna sit there and let a man cheat on her. Because there is no way that we can all say this is like a godly marriage. No, it's not. I know people always take vows until death do us part, but I think that that is not how it's supposed to be. Until we're not serving each other, there's no way I'm gonna be in a marriage raising my kids under depression, or being in a marriage that I'm never happy. And at the end of the day, even if these guys come and like he goes wherever he wants, at the end of the day I have to share a bed with this person. At the end of the day I have to share a house with this person. At the end of the day I have to do the wife duties to this person that does not respect me. How does that even work? And there's some men that are actually on the comment section saying, some women saying, this can never be me, and they're out there saying that is why you'll forever remain single. I'd rather be single than be in such a marriage. I'm not even lying. There's some men that will say it's because you're not ready to commit, it's because it's crazy. Because how am I gonna get you ready to go and cheat on me? How am I going to get you ready to go and lay with another woman out there? Do you even care about my feelings? Because this can only be done by a man who does not love you. A man that loves you would not want to see you getting hurt, unless you and your partner have decided and talked and you're comfortable being in a polygamous marriage, then no one would have a problem with you. Because I mean, if you've decided to be in a polygamous marriage, then that is not a side chick. Because even if you want to refer the Bible, like in the Old Testament, people like Abraham, Jacob, David, and Solomon had multiple wives, and polygamous was cultural accepted back in those days. But now, if you want to look at the New Testament, Jesus and Apostle emphasized on monogamy, like in Ephesians 5:31, the two shall become one flesh. Marriage began to be viewed as sacred bond between one man and one woman. But looking at things like in our African society, there are tribes that they are okay and they already know, and when you're getting married to that tribe, some people know that it's okay that you might get a second wife. And like, let's not look at even the Muslims. They are okay. Like, we have so many of them in Kenya, and they are okay, and their religion is okay with that. So if your wife and your partner, you've sat down and decided that, I wouldn't have any issue with that. But me getting you ready to go out there and cheat with a side chick, you sitting there and telling me that you'll never love me, you don't like me, you've never loved me, and I'm still gonna sit there and be praying for you to change. I mean, sometimes people, like, how they view Christianity is crazy. Because honestly, for those people who are watching this and they're not Christians, I want to assure you that we don't all have the same mentality. No, there are some that actually have these beliefs, and they are like, yes, you have to pray for your man to change. A man that loves you will not do things that hurt your feelings. A man that loves you will not do things that make you second guess your worth or anything of the sort. But this woman, to be how she is, and actually I do respect that. But what makes me feel bad about this is that she's a pastor's wife. And there are people that they're probably serving in their church, people that they're preaching to, people that they go to seek advice from them. And if this is the kind of the advice that she's actually giving to women that don't know what to do in their marriage, or maybe they're facing a lot in their marriages, it's just so sad. It's sad. And I don't even know what to say, guys, but it's sad considering that she's a pastor's wife and they have a big platform. And if they had that confidence of coming and saying this on social media, on screen, on camera, can you imagine how many people that they actually talk to? And they only get this confidence when they have people that actually do listen to them and whatever they are saying. And this gets them thinking in their mind that whatever they are saying and doing is right. And that's why they had the audacity to come here on social media and discuss this, because they already have people that are actually following what they're saying. It's just like the same case that we had here in Kenya, where a pastor told people that they had to fast for them to go meet their maker. A woman who was actually working in a certain airline and went even alongside with the son, and they all fasted, and most of them were just ending unalived. And it's crazy. That's why I'm saying it's quite sad, because there are people that are listening to this woman advice and the pastor that's always preaching to the congregation and all that. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. And if you're a woman out there and your man does not respect you, you don't have to get his clothes ready for him to go and cheat on you. No, just walk out of that marriage, just walk out of that relationship. Learn to love yourself first. And a man that loves you, God will bring you a good man in your life. Like, that man does not deserve you if he's treating you this way. Don't let yourself be manipulated. Don't let yourself think that you cannot find a better spouse, a better partner. No, don't allow that to happen. Don't let that be, or don't feel pressure like you have to be in a marriage and you have to stick in a place where you're not even valued just because the society is like you have to be married. No, it's not a must. Honestly, I know some men will come for me for saying this, but it's actually not a must if you're not respected, if or if you're not with a person that loves you. I mean, at the end of the day, why do you want to be in a marriage with someone that doesn't love you, doesn't respect you, doesn't value you? It does not make sense to me. I'd rather be single rather than be in a marriage just for the sake of being in a marriage. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, and until the next episode, bye.